Gabriela Mistral. She is, wow. Ella es una poeta famosa y una profesora excelente. Ella escribía poemas con los temas de naturaleza. You should be writing this. This is an important fact. Traición, amor, amor de una madre, dolor, viaje y identidad de América Latina. Más de sus poemas, ella celebra la diferencia entre vida y muerte, y esto es porque sus poemas son muy famosas.
Can you wait a little bit for changes like this?
Well, first of all, that's her actual name. Lots of names, right? Lots of family names in there. So what she did is the same thing that Pablo Neruda did, if you remember.
What was her last name?
Mistral. She actually took a pen name. So she wrote under Gabriela Mistral. But she was always a poet. She was always an educator. Whoops, I screwed up. She knew right from the get-go that she wanted to be a teacher. But life didn't necessarily work out the way that she had planned. And then you'll also see she's a diplomat. She's a feminist in her own right. In fact, we're still finding out things about her every day. Just a couple years ago, her niece in her garage found tons of manuscripts that had never been published or never been seen by anyone. They went out into the garage, they were cleaning a move or something, and all of these documents were in there in Gabriela's handwriting and everything. It just got missed. But she grew up in Chile, like I said, just like Pablo Neruda. She was born in this town called Vicuña, and I just grabbed a couple pictures off the internet. How gorgeous does that look? You know, here, I mean, nice glacier. She lives up there, you know, right within the mountains. And look at that green rolling hills. You know, green was the color Pablo Neruda stuck with, but even when you listen to her poetry, she definitely compares it even to where she's from, to her homeland. She was taught by her sister because life, again, didn't go the way she planned. Her father left her family when she was at age 3, so she didn't even get to start school until she was about 9. But she would play school, and when her sister walked through the door, she'd say, "Teach me what you learned today." So she finally, at age 14, got to be a teacher's aide, and she took care of kids that were blind. She worked with them. And then by the time 1904 rolled around, she's well into her education. She starts to write poetry. Kind of, I think, as an outlet more than anything. So she became a teacher eventually. And she went to work in a girls' school. But everyone was amazed at the work that she was doing. So Mexico called her up. And they said, "Will you come and help us?" They needed to redo their education plan. Like here in the United States, you know how No Child Left Behind, that was our big reformation, right? Well, Mexico needed something. And so she sat down as a diplomat from Chile and went in and she redid their educational system. And today, you know, they're required to take school up until the age of 16, just like here in the United States. We've upped it, though, to 18. She eventually became a Spanish professor, obviously in literature, and she became teacher of the nation.
What's a diplomat exactly?
A diplomat is when they speak out for your country with another country. So it could be like in the shape of an ambassador, a consulate, something like that. Not that we need to know all of her poetry, but if you paid attention to the opening paragraph, she wrote a lot about love, mothers and love. She wrote a lot about people betraying others. She wrote about nature. She wrote about, she was political too, to an extent. Absolutely. But she talked about travel, and nothing was better than her home country of Chile. Like, when you read her poetry, she talks about the stars coming into the sky and how blue and beautiful it looks. And she talks about the shape of the moon and the brightness of the sun. It's absolutely gorgeous stuff. She like totally paints a picture when she writes. Totally. She also, she never married. She, you know, went out with a guy here and there, and women. So by the time she died, it was, she had always kind of been a feminist, but they knew that she just would never have kids. But that was where her heart was at, was always with kids. Just a couple more things. These are some of her famous poems, and not that you need to know the names of the famous poems, but look at all of the I guess, what she's writing about. Sonnets about death, desolation, totally depressed there, huh? Lectures for women. Ternura, tenderness. It just, her aspect was a little bit different than maybe some of the men's poetry that was coming out at that time. So.
Does Dolor mean again?
What's what?
Doesn't Dolor mean pain?
Dolor, yeah.
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 I have a creepy story I have to tell you sometime about that.
Okay, please do, I guess.
It's really creepy.
She won some premios, some awards too. Just like Pablo Neruda, he won the Nobel Peace Prize in Literature, so did she. She also won her own country's national prize for literature as well. So she is a woman that many people looked up, not only in regards to writing, but educational matters, women's rights, things of that nature.